Hello, me again, outside with my dog. There is a wind, so I hope you can, hear me. Right now I'm thinking about happiness and about, official and real happiness. To explain it to you, the society, through media, through, school, through anything, gives you an image of what should make you happy. Yes? For example, in our society, a life with a family, stable job, kids, occasional vacation is a official recipe for happiness, basically. So most people are trying to reach this exact state. They're trying to get a stable job, family, few children, occasional vacation, and maybe 1 or 2 hobbies. Right. So, but the fact is that not every culture had this exact recipe for happiness. And I know, people who reach this state and then they are okay, all conditions for happiness are met. So I guess I'm happy. This is basically their way of thinking. But you can clearly see that there isn't something right. For example, a life in a family is too limiting for them. Or a stable job is annoying them. It's boring for them. Having kids can be too much of a responsibility for them. And they might not even want to go on vacations. But they are going through life following this official pattern for happiness and trying to convince themselves and mostly other people that they are happy. Yet they are not. Which is actually a very interesting state. Because basically it means that some people, they most likely know what happiness is. And they think that they know what will make them happy. Yet it's just won't eventually work. Therefore the question is, what to do about this? Well, a sad fact is that the pattern for happiness I just gave you is actually pretty good for economics and the function of society. Because through family you produce new people who then get stable jobs, and through these stable jobs they can keep the economics and the society in a stable form. So that's that. I just hate how people view this pattern for happiness like some sort of a fairy tale. And when they reach it, then they just keep sitting in pubs and complaining about how their life is shit. They are hoping for a moment when it all somehow starts to work out. Yet that moment won't ever come. It's an infinite circle and it leads to nowhere. I personally know that this pattern for happiness I just gave you won't work for me. It's a limiting thing and I'm a pretty adventurous type. I have moments where I do pretty strange bullshit. I like to create things, and I also have cool down periods when I am in a calm state. I'm not doing much bullshit, not coming up with yes, I am coming up with concepts but not realizing them. Meaning that a family life with a stable job and kids and oh my god, that's a fate worse than death for me. Which is interesting because most people then, if you tell them that you simply don't want to have a family, you don't want to marry anyone, you don't want to have shitload of kids, and you would most likely even avoid stable job if it's possible, somehow, they would view you as some sort of a nut, as if you were crazy. But then, when you observe them reaching this state, they think that will make them happy, and then not being actually happy, it really makes you feel like the only sane man, which is irony. Okay, when I was thinking about that happiness and the patterns, my brain came a little further. And basically, it is true that Sometimes people around you can literally stop you, prevent you from finding out what really makes you happy and satisfied. To give you an example, imagine someone who would like to, I don't know, sing in a band, or make some kind of art, or, I don't know, even sell drugs. Anything that's just not a stable job. And he would come around and tell it to people around him, or they will just notice that he's like doing this. And the people around him, or if they are like really infected by this fairy tale view of conventional happiness, they would feel that the person is distracting himself from this fairy tale safe path of being conventionally happy. And then there are two options. Some of them will think that they need to save him, like that he is definitely gonna fall into some deep shit, and they need to keep him on the track. They need to keep him on the road to the conventional happiness. And so they will tell him that no, that's bullshit, you should not do that, it won't work out. No, you will like lose your original path. You won't ever be happy when doing that, blah blah blah. That are the better people. They view themselves as, I don't know, fairy tale vigilantes. Then there is a second type of people. They are a little bit more malicious, because they would view such a person as someone who could actually like find another way of living, a way unknown to like people who follow the conventional patterns, and it could actually make him more happy than them. And they will like be scared, like, oh my god, if he achieves that, and if he will like really be happy more than me and do this stuff I never had balls to try out, I will be pretty pissed. So I have to stop him. I have to tell him that it's bullshit. I need to keep him on this conventional road with me. So I don't know, I personally think that the best way to realize your dreams, or you follow another path than the conventional one, to do it is either to start like guerrilla tactics and not to share it with anyone, keep it for yourself, or to share it only with people you can really trust that won't like try to distract you, mostly your best friends. Or you can tell it to everyone around you and then just view their reaction. And according to their reaction, you can decide who is a toxic person for you. And you should either not take him so seriously or avoid him at all, who is a supportive person, and maybe the best people who doesn't care at all. But whatever reaction you get, you should not go away from your path. Yes, you can play it safe and try to follow both paths. That's usually what I try. Like always having a backdoor into backdoor, and plan B, plan C, improvisation modals and other stuff. And this stuff brings me to people who are really focused their whole fucking life to like following the official conventional pattern. There is a shitload of stress, shitload of like completely unnecessary bullshit they will create, they will make, and their nerves will most likely like be completely fucked up. You know? This is a recipe for cancer, diabetes, schizophrenia, and like, I don't know, mass shooting outbreak. And these people, imagine them. They're like doing everything they can to achieve their freaking model of happiness they believe in. Their whole life, they're so focused at that when someone else comes and tries to challenge them, either tells them, hey dude, oh hey bitch, like this, just, I think you should rethink it, because it really, you don't look really satisfied. It's like you are convincing yourself that you are satisfied. That's two very different things. Then they will usually either shout at you or roll their eyes around, because, you know, it's like not a nice feeling when someone comes and breaks your reality. I have sometimes certificately broken my own reality because it was shit. and reconstructed it. But these people, they spend like 50, 60, 70, 80 years following this pattern, actually never actually reaching real true happiness from like on their own. And then they are like dying, lying in a bed in a hospital. Oh my God, they have actually never been happy. They did everything. They followed all the rules, all the patterns, thinking that they were happy, but they actually weren't. And hell, that's like too late for rethinking. You do know Unforgiven from Metallica? This is exactly that. Yes. It's just like about someone like this. Or at least to me it feels like that. Oh yeah. Oh, fate worse than that. Oh yeah, just listen to Unforgiven. Never free, never me. Those are like iconic lines. You really like don't want to feel like that on your fucking deathbed. That's a little late, unless I'm right with my like rethinking of the concept of death is in my very first audio gramophone video. However, you are most likely asking like, okay, you fucking smart ass, so what am I supposed to do to eventually like reach a state of satisfaction like by myself? So, well, first you need to find out what really satisfies you, what makes you happy, which can actually be a pretty complex and complicated thing. So I will create a whole video dedicated just to this question. And then, that's like the simpler question, you need to realize how much of a comfort you really need. Comfort provided by society. By comfort, I mean the bare minimum, like food, medication, like hot water, and such stuff. Because most people would actually be like happy with a small house. They don't need a giant mansion. But they might think that they want it, This is really tricky. However, when you find the bare minimum, then you should try to achieve it, to live like that, and use the rest of your time into like stuff that makes you happy, satisfied. And if you are one of those lucky persons who can make money or any kind of living, because you actually don't even need money if you know how to do it, by doing stuff that satisfies you and makes you happy, then you should try to focus as much energy and time into things that satisfy you as possible, and maybe it will work out. And you could actually die a happy, satisfied person. Or you can like dub everyone Unforgiven.